Good morning, everybody. Hello. How is everybody doing? Hello. Good morning. Welcome. If you're new here, my name is Dustin, and this channel, Modern Metaphysicae, is about all things occult and esoteric with a very heavy lean on the tarot. I hope everybody's doing well today. Happy Mother's Day to all of the beautiful moms out in the world. And also, if you are someone who has lost their mother or doesn't have a great relationship with your mother, or maybe doesn't even know their mother, just know that you are seen and that we are holding space for you. I hope everybody's doing well today. We're gonna hang out and do another upcoming and new releases in tarot and occult books. So we're gonna take a look at the things that have caught my eye and my attention over the past month or so, which this month hasn't been a whole lot. It's been kind of a dry month in regards to things that have like really kind of intrigued me enough to like want to have them. But I do have a list of things to share with you guys as always. There is all of the links and all the good stuff is in the description box down below. So if you're interested in picking up any of the things that I share with you guys today, you can find all of that down there. So be sure to check that out. Down there, you'll find all of my social media where you can connect with me, as well as a link to my personal website where you can book a tarot reading with me. So be sure to check all that stuff out. Also, I just want to give a big thank you and shout out to all the members of Scala Metaphysicae, which is our channel membership program. So if you see anybody in chat with a little icon next to their name and a colored name, they are a part of Scala Metaphysicae, and you get some really cool, fun benefits through that program, including access to our community Discord server. Anyone can participate in Study Hall, which is our group sort of book club, and also monthly Taroscope readings, which will be going up after this live stream if YouTube finishes processing. There was all kinds of issues last week with YouTube. The reason why they didn't go up in the middle of the week last week like they normally do is YouTube. There was this bug on YouTube where videos that were uploaded were not being processed. And it caused all kinds of problems. So I decided to just wait. But now, of course, everybody's uploading videos. So, like, the processing servers are being really slow. Anyways, it was a nightmare. But those will be going up here shortly, too. So be sure to check all that stuff out. It's all in the thing, the doobly-doo, down below. It was a thing. It was a thing. How is everybody doing? Good morning. I see we've got Lexi in chat and we've got Tarot Trouble and oh, this is Kay. Is it Prager? I'm assuming. I hope I'm not mispronouncing that. This is your first time seeing a live. Welcome. We've got Discovering Dell and Kim Moonwhisper. Hello, Eleanor and Eloin. And Gigi's here. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, Chris is here. Hello. And Raven Morning Glory. All sorts of awesome people. So I hope everyone's doing well. If you're just hanging out and you're lurking, hello to you too. I appreciate each and every one of you. So yeah, I hope everyone's having a good Sunday. It's been a weird week. It has been a very, very weird week for me, to say the least. But I hope you're all doing well. So yeah, I have a big cup of coffee. I hope you have a cup of something delicious to sip on, be it an adult beverage or tea or coffee or whatnot. And we're just going to hang out and look at some stuff that's pretty and interesting and all that stuff. I know. Where is that early ritual guy? What is he doing? Is he sleeping in? You should just go like call him on Discord. It'll, if he has notifications on his phone, it'll go through to his phone like a normal phone call, by the way. All right. Well, let's dive in. Oh, really quickly before we do that, I actually want to briefly announce, except I didn't have it pulled up. So you're going to have to ignore the man behind the curtain right now while I do some stuff here. Okay. Briefly announce this. So the winner for those of you who are maybe new or missed the last live stream, we finished doing our last I Ching topic, which was our last study hall topic, which was the I Ching. And we wrapped that up, and the live before last, I put out a poll on the community tab to see what topic people would be interested in, and doing a Thoth study was the winner. And so last live stream, I put another poll up with a few different options of texts to use and study and read for that study hall. And the results are in, as they will say, right? And interestingly, which this surprises me, but everybody voted for Lon Milo DuQuette's book, which is Understanding Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot. This is we're going to read the new edition. There are 2 editions of this book, but that is the book that we are going to read for study hall. So I'm going to look at my calendar, get things organized, and we will post information about when that first session of the Thoth study hall will be taking place. This isn't to say that we may or may not read the other books. This is just the first one people wanted to tackle. It was actually relatively close, as you can see, like 48% for DuQuette, 20% for Mirror of the Soul, which is a wonderful book, and 31% for the Marcus Katz series of books, which is 3 books on the Thoth. So we might read more. We'll see what people do. I always very much let the people participating in study hall drive it more than I do. I'm just kind of there to facilitate. But if you're interested in study hall, again, it is a perk available to all members of Scholar Metaphysicae. You can subscribe at any tier, and you only have to be a member for 1 month. This basically is just to weed out the trolls, because I don't have time for that. But once you're a member for 1 month, even if it's at the lowest tier, you get lifetime access to study hall and to the community Discord server, where you can hang out, chat with all of us. We post food pictures and garden pictures and day trip pictures, and there was Aurora Borealis pictures, which I haven't even got to talk about yet, and all kinds of fun stuff. So be sure to go check that out. But we will be reading Lon Milo DuQuette's book. So if you're interested in doing that with a group of us, come hang out. It'll be super fun. All right. Speaking of Aurora Borealis, we actually had Aurora Borealis all the way here in Colorado, which was amazing. It was so beautiful. I know a lot of people around the world got to see it. What was it, night before last? And so I hope you guys got to see that. But it's interesting because solar flares and the aurora are definitely something astrologically that have sort of an energetic push, right? A lot of people are sensitive to this. A lot of people sometimes will feel very drained during like solar storms like this, and also a lot of people will feel very energized. And I think it from my experiences, and other people may have different experiences, but from my experiences, people who tend to have more fire and air correspondences in their natal charts tend to be more energized, where people who have more earth and water in their charts tend to feel a little bit more drained, which is really interesting. But I've been talking to a lot of people both in the community and kind of behind the scenes about this, and I hope everybody got to see all the pretty lights and fun stuff like that. So, hello. Let's see here. Hello, good morning. People trickling in. And as always, guys, if you have questions or comments or anything you want me to read or see, be sure to do at Modern Metaphysicae. It'll highlight it like nice and bright on my screen for me so that I don't miss it. It helps my ADHD brain to like, I'll see that. I'm a very visual person. So, but if I do miss something, feel free to keep posting. The mods do a good job of making sure that I will notice it. So yeah, let's see here. Okay. Oh, first study hall, Gigi. That's exciting. Well, there's only been one, so it's going to be a first for a lot of people. All right. Just checking on chat here. Day of the Jackal, I'm late. That's okay, you're not too late, actually. We just started. Lost in Gothic Music is here. Hello. Hi, Patrick. How are you? The last study hall was, we did the I Ching, and we read Benno Wen's Magnus Opus on the I Ching. All right. I don't see anything else that I'm missing, so let's dive in. Let's get started on all of the fun and exciting things that are coming out. So the first thing I wanted to highlight for everybody, we're going to start with books. We always start with books. You know, I love me some books. I love me some books. But this is the latest book by Frater, who at this point is probably one of the most well-known occultists and writers in sort of the occult spheres. This is being published by Three Hands Press. It is entitled Truthmetzer, I think is how you say it. My German is terrible, which is awful because both of my grandmothers are fluent German speakers. But this is a blade of two ways. It is basically a book that is about the witch's dagger in German folklore and sorcery, which is very interesting to me. Like, I've talked about this on my channel before. I come from a family which can only be traced back a few generations on my paternal side, which is your father's lineage. On my maternal side, it's the same way. So on my mother's lineage. Now, on both sides of my parents, I can trace back farther on the maternal side than I can on the paternal side, but it's very, very short. And so for me, like, my heritage, and I know that my family comes from both, like, I'm kind of a weird mix. I'm exactly, in fact, 25% Native American, 50% German, and 25% Slavic. And so part of kind of how I connect to my ancestry and how I kind of work through that and not really knowing anything is reading about traditional folklore and magical practices and spiritual practices and things like that from those ethnic groups, right? So I have lots of books on traditional Native American mythology and things like that. I have lots of books on Norse and Icelandic and Germanic traditions. And then I also have, well, thankfully, lately been able to really access good information on Slavic traditions. So this one caught my eye specifically because of its Germanic tie-in. So I'm very much looking forward to this. I've read a number of Frater Acker's other works, and he is an amazing writer. I really, really enjoy his writing. And yeah, this one looks to be very, as always, Three Hands Press always makes beautiful books. The cover, look at this cover. Isn't this is amazing. Love, love, love. It's illustrated, and of course, the in thing right now is that duotone printing where you get the red and the black, which I just think is beautiful. There are 2 editions of this book available. So there's a standard hardcover and a deluxe edition, which, you know, someday I'll order deluxe edition, but not today is not that day. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this one. So yeah, very, very excited this. Oh, interesting. Have you shot them an email, Day of the Jackal? I've never had any problems with them. They're always very, very responsive. So I'm surprised to hear that you haven't seen anything. But I would contact them, reach out, hit their contact button up here at the top, and see what's going on, because they're always very kind and very responsive to me. So yeah, that is A Blade of Two Ways. So that one I'm very excited about. Next up on the list, we have Sigrun and the Mist by Jack Grayle. This is the same author who wrote the Hecton. Um, and yeah, this looks really fascinating. Again, this got me interested because of its connection to sort of Norse and Icelandic traditions. It is basically a retelling of Icelandic folklore, and through like poetry, and there's also occult um, things and literature in this book, as well as like bind runes and other things, and it's full of really interesting, beautiful black and white photography, which for me, for those of you who don't know, or a lot of you do, obviously, that I have a background in art. I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts, and the medium that I chose to emphasize in, so the art program that I went through, you kind of take a little bit of everything the first 2 years that you're there. So you take drawing and digital art and painting and sculpture and fibers and metalworking and what else did I take? I took printmaking. Um, I took a whole class on typography and learning how to make fonts and what kerning is and all that kind of fun stuff. But the medium that I chose to emphasize in and that I took the most courses on was photography, but traditional black and white photography. And so the photography in this is stunning, to say the least. So I'm very interested in that as well. Um, so this kind of hit me in more than one way. So yeah, huh. That's interesting. Yeah, I've never had any issues with rehab breads. I'm sorry you're having that issue. That's crazy. Um, so yeah, this one looks really cool. Very excited by this. This is in pre-order status, by the way. So I will be getting this one for sure. um, yeah, wet plate photography. Oh, yes. I only did a little bit of wet plate. So when I went through my program, I did mostly large format photography. So I did a lot of shoots with 4x5. One day I need to pull out my portfolio and show everybody. But I did mostly shoots with 4x5 film. So I still have one of those big box cameras that you set on the tripod and you go under the cloth to take pictures of. That's what I did, and I loved it. It was so much fun, and I also did a lot of cyanotypes, which was a lot of fun. And I did a lot of cyanotypes actually on fabric, which actually got me into excuse me, which actually got me into a bunch of art shows when I was in undergrad, and I developed those with sunlight, so I actually didn't even use a darkroom for those, which was really fun. So yeah, fun facts about yours truly. All right. So next up, Sacred Sites by Taschen. Y'all know I love the Library of Esoterica. Taschen I don't even know why I said probably, is the forerunner for art and photography books in the modern age. And their Library of Esoterica is wonderful. For all the tarot folks out there, if you don't have the tarot book, go get the tarot book. It's amazing. The astrology book is really good too. They're all wonderful. So I'm really excited for this one, as I have had a long, so as a part of my art studies, I had to take a lot of art history classes. In fact, I have a minor in art history. And I loved studying about sacred sites, and ancient architecture and things like that. I always thought it was really fascinating. So I'm really interested in this one. These books are always beautiful. I love the cover. I thought the cover was very clever, right? That like the ultimate sacred site is the planet, right? And I love this photograph that we have here from the moon, which I can't remember what Apollo mission this was taken from. But yeah, I am really excited for this one because they're amazing. So lovely, beautiful stuff. Here's all of the other books, by the way: Astrology, Tarot, Witchcraft, and Plant Magic. Love them. Oh my God, Lexi, please. um, but yeah, love their stuff. Their whole library of Esoterica series is, oh, it's chef's kiss. It is just so good. So if you don't have these books, you should get them. They're amazing. So check them out if you haven't done so already. I'm very excited for this one. All right, next up we have The Magical Art. This is by Hayden Press. This is an original translation of L'Art Magique by Eminem Lamba, and it has full color images, right, that were redrawn by S. Alderney. And this is kind of like a it's kind of like a grimoire on grimoires. It's kind of like a how do I explain this? It's like a notebook almost. It's kind of like it's a collection of stuff from sort of Psalmonic and Kabbalistic and astrology and spiritual evocation and all kinds of kind of different things kind of picked and pulled together into this like cohesive book um, that is a part of this, right? So in the contents here, by the way, the foreword is by Jake Stratton Kent, who is an amazing author. You get an idea of kind of all the bits and pieces that are in here. Um, which is really interesting, right? So you have the Sanctum Regnum or Holy Kingdom in Christian Kabbalah. You have, you know, just magical elements. You have just all kinds of different things that are a part of this conversation. So here in chapter 1, it goes through the different things about grimoires. You have like instruments of the art, which I'm assuming is probably about um, like magical tools, the knife, the wand, and it just goes through the quill, right? The horn, all sorts of really interesting things. You also have really great appendices in here. So transcriptions, you have a hierarchy of spirits. And these little codes are from manuscripts, which are grimoire manuscripts. So this specific book is primarily an original translation of manuscript 983, L'Art Magique, or the Magical Art, which is really interesting. So this looks really cool. I'm really excited about this. I love studying old grimoires and things like that. So I will be definitely picking this one up. Um, oh my gosh. I'm a simple man. I see Jake Stratton Kent and I add to cart. I feel you there. He is a really amazing man. So very excited about this one. Go check it out. Hayden Press always does really amazing stuff. The hardcover I think is £60, and the paperback edition is only 25. So very affordable. Oh, my allergies right now are going nuts. All right. Next up on the list, we have a new book from Red Feather. This is called Temple of the Stars, the Astrological Decans. This really caught my eye. I think I talked about this briefly months ago when it kind of first cropped up as a title, a soon to be released title. But basically, this book focuses on the ancient Egyptian decans, their correspondences to gods and the afterlife, and how each individual decan placement defines a person's experiences, right? And decans seem to be kind of a hot topic in the tarot community right now. Well, not so much right now. It was kind of a thing for like, I don't know, the last year. But I'm really interested in this as someone who is a very, very strong believer and practitioner of astrology. Having a book dedicated solely to the decans or the decans, however you want to say it. People get up in my comments and they're like, it's pronounced. I don't care. Potato, potato. The decans, the decans. Uh, but this having a book dedicated to the discussion around them, and kind of synthesizing that together with like symbolism and associations and things like that is really interesting to me. So I'm very much looking forward to this. It looks really interesting. So I will be grabbing this one. The trends do come in cycles. It's very much a thing in both occult tube and in tarot tube where um I mean, people come and go, right? There's very, very few channels around that have been around like as long as I've been around, or let alone as long as the Hermit's Cave has been around. If I think I saw Simon in here. There's not a lot of people that just kind of stick through things, right? For various different reasons, right? It's being a YouTuber is challenging, and you don't make money. If anyone thinks we're us people are making bank off of it, we're not. Not not a thing. In fact, my my tax preparer, my bookkeeper, this past year was like, "Have you ever considered not doing YouTube because it makes things overly complicated, and you lose money on this?" And I was like, "I know, I know." But yeah, it's definitely something that comes in like everything in these communities come and go in like these trendy cycles, right? And it's always the same conversations over and over again, and it's always like the old guard versus the new guard, and it's very rare in my experience that something profoundly new comes up as a topic of discussion. So yeah, it's it's interesting stuff to say the least. So yeah. I don't live in a clock tower mansion. No, I certainly do not. I live in a tiny, teeny, tiny little house that was built in 1902 that's falling apart. I wish. Clock towers are amazing. That'd be amazing. Okay, anyways, I digress. Let's talk about the next book up on the list. We've got Stars, Cards, and Stones, exploring cosmic connections between astrology, tarot, and runestones. So this is going to be available in the fall. I don't think if I didn't mention, both of these Red Feather books are available in the fall. So this book specifically is drawing connections between astrology, tarot, and the runes, which is really interesting and intriguing to me, right? Those are like the three fundamental cornerstones of my divinatory practice, right? They're the things that I reference the most when it comes to how I divine things and what I work with, the systems that I believe in, and things like that. So a book that kind of synthesizes those three things together, you bet your booty I'm gonna check this one out. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick this one up. It does seem interesting. I think again, the struggle that I'm having with a lot of these mass market publishers is that everything has to be geared towards the beginner, right? And it's only in the indie publishers that we're getting more advanced topics of discussion and things like that. I really wish that these publishers would move away from the topic 101 conversations. We don't need 20 topic 101 books every year. We don't. I'm over it. Llewellyn, Red Feather, Los Garibay, all of you guys, stop with the 101. There's so much 101 information out there that it could go on for centuries, right? And the problem is that like I myself am not buying as many books from mass market publishers anymore because it's all the same crap by different people, right? And it's all basic, like how to read tarot, how to read astrology. There's nothing there. It's all surface level stuff, right? And that's something that I struggle with. And this one, I'm cautiously optimistic because not only it gives you that surface level, but it seems like it's going to go deeper and then make connections between the three. So I'm very cautiously optimistic about this. Um, but the fact that the little like boilerplate here is the fascinating worlds of divination and their symbolic correspondences are yours to explore. Stars, cards, and stones is a perfect resource for beginners. Why? 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 So I'm really hoping, I'm really hoping that this isn't just like, here's how to read tarot, here's how to read your natal chart, and here's how to read runes. Like, I'm really hoping that that's not it. If that's what this is, it will be returned. Um, but yeah, I'm very interested in this one. I'm cautiously optimistic, and hopefully, like Rachel said, these are a few of my favorite things. So I'll be picking this one up for sure. Good morning. Oh, look who decided to show up. This guy. Alrighty. So that's it as far as books goes. There wasn't really particularly anything else that really struck me or caught my eye in the past month. I covered a lot of the Troy books that came out recently, I think, in the previous couple episodes, which I'm really excited for. I've gotten a couple of them in. I'm so far behind on my reading, you guys. Oh my god. I need all the reading time. I really do. But I've got a lot of chit to do. A lot of chit, as they say. So yeah. And as always, guys, if you have any books or tarot or oracle decks or anything like that that you guys want to share, please feel free to throw them in chat. I'll try and pick a few to look at the end of the live stream here. Also, if you do have what's the word I'm looking for? If you do have suggestions that you want to share, come back and leave a comment. You can throw them in the Discord if you're a part of the community. We have channel discussions completely dedicated to that. It's really fun. So yeah. Yeah, me too, Elowen. Me too. I'm so over beginner books. Everything's a beginner book, right? Everything is a beginner book. They always write from the perspective of, okay, you know absolutely nothing about tarot, and it's like, I think we're past that. I think there's plenty of beginner books out there. Can we get something with some substance? And it seems like we're only getting substance in that regard in the indie space, and that's fine. But I do think it's a I think it's a mistake on the part of the publishers, right? Because they're not growing their audience, right? And listen, I get it, right? Like on my channel, the beginner content, the reviews, and that sort of stuff is what gets the most the most traction. That is what all of you are primarily here for, right? For example, my tarot deep dive series, which is a little more advanced, right? Even though it is geared to like step you through each of the major arcana cards and talk about the symbolism that's present in it and learning it and why the cards mean what they mean. But the history component of it, the idea that these images and this language of imagery has existed long before the tarot ever came around, um, is kind of the thesis in that whole series, is one of my least viewed series on the channel, right? And it's funny because whenever I ask in a poll or even just in a live stream or something, like if people want more of that kind of content, they always say yes. And then when I make it, it doesn't get the views, so it's kind of like, well, it's like, well, what do I do? And I don't care about the numbers, right? My channel, I've always just kind of done the things that are most interesting to me and what I've had time for and things like that. um but like, it is an interesting sort of dichotomy that we have in our sort of greater occult spheres, where you have a group of people who are very much interested in advanced and intermediate topics of discussion, And that's very niche, it seems like, right? And you have a ton of people who are just continuously producing content for beginners and not going past that. So there's like this void in the middle, right? Um, and it's not being really filled by anyone. And when people do try to fill it, it doesn't get the traction. And it's like, I, I've had this discussion with a lot of people. It's like, at what point do people jump from that, like, I'm consuming all beginner content, into the niche of all I want is like advanced, deeply esoteric, thought provoking conversations? Like, what happens in the space in between? And even like in my own sort of like, how did I get there kind of thing? Well, I got there when I was in university, right? Um, so it's, yeah, it's an interesting topic. Not for today though. Not for today. Um, so yeah, let's see here. Did I pre-order the? Yes, I did pre-order Jack's book. Absolutely, you bet your booty I did. um, yeah, but I will say that podcasts definitely do fill that space a little bit better. Um, even things like Fortune's Wheelhouse, which is one of my favorite podcasts about the tarot, right? You definitely get some more intermediate information, but it still leans a little more advanced, right? Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird space. So, all right, well, let's talk about upcoming releases in tarot and oracle decks. So, I had to mention this one. I know I've mentioned it on the series before already when it was very first announced, but the Kickstarter for the Cerulean Sequence, which is a numerology oracle deck, is available now. It only has 11 days to go. This is by James R. Eade, who is, I think, prolifically well known now in the tarot community. He's kind of approached this in like a sketchbook style, which I really like, and I really enjoy. I like the idea of it being a numerology deck. There's not a lot of those out there. In fact, numerology resources in kind of the occult space is very limited. So I'm very, very interested to see this in person and see kind of what he has pulled off, because his work is always really amazing. Some of the extras are interesting. The little lunchbox thing going on here is kind of retro clever, but again, I don't need it. The packaging in the book looks really, really lovely. But I'm very excited for this one. So cool little cloth, which I will never get because I hate cloths. Here's the lunchbox, which is kind of cool. Um, a little blue colored pencil. I have a million of these. I don't need one with branding on it. Um, yeah. Dice and an abacus. Interesting things. I don't know if those have been unlocked. So interesting kind of extras. He always has interesting extras, to say the least. So, very excited for this one. Um, yeah, I'm at this point, I think, in my kind of space. I don't need extras, right? Like when I bring decks in, I bring them in for a very specific reason, and they already occupy enough space. I'm constantly shuffling things around to try and like in fact I really need to do like a big massive clean out of this closet back here to reorganize a bunch of my collection and clean it up. Um Potentially rehome some things, but I don't need a lunchbox tin. I just don't. I just don't need one. So those things are just less of interest to me these days. Fun if you're getting it for a gift though. Um so I'm checking this one out for sure. Let's see. Next up, we have a new release from US Games. This is the Maiden Tarot. This one caught my eye, as it is named after kind of Astrea, the Greek goddess of sort of the stars. It is a sort of divine feminine, uh, zodiacal astrological deck, but the thing that I liked about it is that just because it focuses on that side of the energy, it doesn't mean that like men are excluded, and that was really important to me. It's really hard for me in the tarot space a lot of times to connect with the more feminine decks, because obviously I'm not a woman, and it's not to say I don't connect with that energy. It's just that a lot of times those decks that are overtly geared towards the feminine side tend to display men in a negative light, and that's something that I personally struggle with, because it's like I don't see myself in those decks. They're hard for me to use because I don't see all men as like a negative thing. And so when I do see decks that are geared in that sort of direction but showcase men in a positive way, I want to support them. I like the art style in this one. I think it's really interesting. It's kind of a collagey graphic style, which I have a number of decks kind of in this vein. I love the death card. He's kind of cute. um, but this one looks really, really, really interesting. So I'm definitely gonna pick. Oh, look at this moon card. He's so cool. It looks really interesting. So I'll be picking this one up for sure. The Star Maiden Tarot. Here's our King of Cups. Can you guys see this? Is my okay? I'm just making sure my face isn't covering anything. Really beautiful. I love all the nighttime stuff. The backs are really lovely. I hope that this copyright isn't on the backs. Listen, US Games. No, we're so tired of your copyright. Crap. It's so corporately cringy. It's amazing. You don't need to put it in two different places. Like, I don't know. Find a better way to do this. I don't even know. Like, some I'm just gonna excuse me while I rant on a soapbox. Some corporate chump in a suit who probably has never read with a tarot deck in his life and is a lawyer sits at US Games and tries to sue the pants off of everyone who makes an RWS deck in order to make money, and it just really infuriates me. Okay, my rant's over. I just needed to say that. um yeah, they really are the only ones that are like so heavy-handed in their copyright stuff. It just drives me nuts. But at least it's on the back now and not the front. Anyways. Um yeah, legal departments. Ugh. Yeah, you got a good little rant. All right. So that is the Star Maiden Tarot. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. Very interesting seeing how this one evolves. The next deck that I wanted to share with you guys, this is coming out. This is a ways out, but I saw it and it looks really beautiful. So this is the Storyteller Tarot. This is all the imagery we get. um, but the premise of the deck is that it combines the traditional sort of RWS, but with stories, myths, and folklores from around the world. We all know I love me some mythology, and when you combine it with the tarot, I have to get it. So I'm very interested in this one. David de Pascal has done some other decks. He did one. He did the animal one, if I remember correctly, and it was lovely. I'm not a big animal person, so I never picked it up. But this one looks really cool. As you can see, there's some Egyptian mythology being shown. There's hair up in the top left corner, I think, on your screen, if I'm remembering the mirroring right. So I think that there's probably some like Celtic or Druidic traditions being explored. You have a centaur, so I'm assuming you're getting some Greco-Roman maybe like Zoroastrian correspondences and things like that. So it looks like they're kind of covering the gamut. You have this obviously this image of Quetzalcoatl on the cover of the book, or the cover of the box. Um, so yeah, it looks really interesting, and I'm really intrigued to see how this one comes to life. I will be watching this like a hawk because this is right up my alley. So the Storyteller's Tarot. Check that one out. And then next up, we have, of course, the beautiful and much anticipated Heartwood Tarot Tree Trees. Three. What? I am having a hard time talking today. I have not had enough caffeine. From Three Trees. And yeah, I'm really excited for this one because I have all of their other decks. These are decks I don't talk about all that often because for me, I don't know, they're kind of personal. I actually tend to read with these a lot for kind of like inner child work and kind of like internal, like psycho spiritual stuff. For me, there's kind of I connect to this artwork a lot because growing up, one of my favorite book series was the Redwall series, and the illustrations that they do remind me a lot of the Redwall illustrations, as well as Peter the Rabbit. So I really love these and they're kind of special. So I'm very excited for this one. I love I love the Wheel of Fortune being like the clock and the mouse. It's precious. I love it. I love the star card. Oh, so good. I'm really excited for this one. So I definitely pre-ordered this one, as I have pre-ordered every other one of their decks. Um, I love it. I love their stuff. It's like a warm hug on a cold rainy day with a cozy cup of coffee, and you have like some like delicious soft jazz playing in the background. Like that's the kind of like the evocation that I get. Oh, interesting. I missed the borders. I thought about that. I was like, I kind of miss the borders too. Um, I like the borderless, but I did like the borders as well. I don't know. I would have see when I first saw it, I had the same knee jerk reaction. I was like, could we have please had borders for consistency across kind of the brand identity that this is, right? But at the same time, it's like because you're so zoomed in this one, because it's focusing on the mouse so much, right? Like I kind of like the borderless aspect. So I don't know. That's interesting. So yeah, check this one out if you haven't done so already. This deck, I don't even, it does it need promotion? Probably not, but I'm very excited for it, to say the least. All right. So that is the Heartwood Tarot from Three Trees. Check it out. And last, but certainly not least, we have the Baroque Tarot. If it's not broke, don't fix it, they say. Well, so this has become like one of my favorite decks recently. I've been reading with it a lot. The original Kickstarter for this had it printed on kind of like an art paper, so it's an interesting cardstock. So one thing about this deck is that you have this like gold spot foiling on the fronts and the back, and it's done in this really lovely like papery cardstock. They are upgrading the foiling and the cardstock to German black core cardstock, which for those of you who've been around the tarot sphere for a little bit probably know that that's like the Rolls Royce of cardstock. It's delicious, to say the least. So this new edition, which is going to be just a limited edition from my understanding, is with people wanted better cardstock because this I like this cardstock. I don't dislike this cardstock. It's different though, and I get why people probably um gave this feedback over and over again, right? Like, I don't know, this cardstock really isn't bad, but I will say this, like, if you're gonna give me a German black core version of this deck, yeah, I'll take it. So superior cardstock is these are the changes that the deluxe edition are gonna have. So you're gonna have better cardstock, right? So 330 GSM German black core with a linen finish. I'm very interested to see how the linen does on this, because there's a lot of deep dark blacks in this deck, and I think the lemon, why am I struggling so much with talking to the linen, could potentially produce too much glare, but we'll see. I like some good linen cardstock wool, so we'll see. They did change the Wheel of Fortune card, so I thought that was kind of interesting. It's kind of like this clock vibe now. The Wheel of Fortune card was kind of always the like, where's Waldo of the deck? The like, which one does it belong? So I do like this new version a little bit better. And then they're upgrading the packaging, so new box design, etc. So this is kind of like the deluxe edition uh, of the deck. So very excited. If you have the original version of this, definitely worth picking it up. I do need more coffee. Oh, let me tell you, I slept like crap last night too, so that's probably why. I don't hate the backs. I don't hate the backs. I kind of like them. I don't know. I'm not. I think the moon phases maybe are a little too much. I don't think we needed the moon phases. If it was just the border and this like the like tarot mandala wheel with the zodiac, that would have been enough for me. But I don't hate them. Hate's a strong word. But yeah. So yeah, that that is what we have in store for today. Those are all the things that I am excited about, that I'm supporting. Again, this is never a comprehensive list of all the things that are coming out ever. There's plenty of other people that do those. Tarot Oracle does like a huge rundown of all of the things coming out. Um, Foolish Fish does a whole huge rundown, typically, of all of the things happening in the book side of the sphere. And I, in my little corner, just like to show you the things that I love and am interested in. So yeah. Let me catch up on chat here, make sure I didn't miss anything. Is there anything that anyone has to share that they're like super excited about that maybe I don't know about or something like that? Feel free to throw it in chat. If you have questions for me or anything like that, now's a great time for that as well. And yeah. Ooh. Oh, I'm stiff. I slept weird. I woke up with I woke up in this weird like position where I had like my shoulder like all squished over, and I was like, and my hand was numb because it was like shoved under me, and it was one of those mornings where you wake up and you're like, ow, what's happening? Why am I like this? Why am I a pretzel? The Little Bird Tarot. I have looked at this. But is it the hold on. So this one. This one is lovely. It's not a deck that I will ever use. But it has 12 days to go on Kickstarter right now. It gives me like that like vintage like bird study, plant study book vibe. And in fact, is that what they used for these? I can't remember. Um yeah, it's like a field guide kind of book. Yeah. Audubon. So that's kind of what that's clearly what they used. Um it's interesting. I like it, but like every time I looked at this, I was like, is this something I'm going to use? Probably not. Um, just because like symbolism for me is really important in tarot. And in this instance, although some of the like correspondences that the creator has picked, right? Like you kind of have this falcon for the emperor. Like, okay, yeah, I can see that. But like this four of pentacles, like these flowers with the cactus, like I don't know. So, you know, four of swords, which is rest, and you have like this mother bird feeding or sitting on the eggs, and or is she just sitting in the nest and this other bird, like I don't know. I feel like some of it just didn't quite like make the connection for me personally. Um it is beautiful. I love the backs. The backs are gorgeous. So but yeah, it's a cool book. Um yeah, El Goliath is on sale and is going out of print. Ooh, you're giving it as a present. Ooh, that's always fun. I feel like my mom, if my mom read tarot, she would love this. Like unironically, she would absolutely love this deck. So yeah. Anything else anyone wants to share that they're super excited for? Or that they want me to look at and give a knee-jerk reaction to? Yeah. I I know that the creator started doing like children's book illustrations and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You know, sometimes I think sometimes like maintaining publishing a deck, it's a lot of work, right? Like, especially for someone who keeps like an open print run. I know he kept his print run open for a while, and it's a lot of work, right? Because you kind of have to front a lot of money to have the decks printed, and then like if the interest falls off, right? Like there's I don't know, there's some interesting things. So I definitely understand. Um, fourth being and non-being. Oh, I did not know that. I'll have to check that out. Astronomia. Um, let's look at astronomia. Did I look at this? Astronomia. Oh, yes, I did look at this. This is really interesting. I'm on the fence about this one. So I have it flagged to remind me. Um, so this is a reprint of an old sort of like Oracle card game. They've basically like digitally enhanced it and remade it. I love the art style of this. It's super cool. Um, I love this old vintage version with the box and stuff. See, you can see where they like how they digitally enhanced the artwork to make it fresh and pop again. Um, the backs are really cool. Yeah, I'm probably gonna back this. I will probably end up backing this. I'm so on the fence. Like, this is one of those decks where I'm like, am I gonna use this? Like, am I actually gonna use this? And I love it for what it is as an object. I don't know if I'm gonna ever use it like as an actual like thing. It's really interesting how it uses like the like actual constellations and like planetary positions and stars and things like that. Um, but yeah, it's a really cool kind of redo of an old vintage cool deck. So yeah, and this is by Urania Press, by the way, you guys. Who they've done so many other things. It's pretty. They're very safe to back from. I love all their stuff. In fact, I did just get in today from them the Tarot Emblemata colored edition. It just came in. It's still in plastic. I haven't even opened it. So good stuff. Yeah, the marble paper for the backs is really cool. Making marble paper is really fun. I did it in art school once, and then there's a there's like a art center, like a fine arts center here that holds like classes for both kids and adults, and one of them is paper marbling, and I was like, ooh, should I go take that class? That would be fun. So I might do that. Um, so yeah, that is a cool one. I will probably end up backing that one. I'm still, it's just like one of those like, do I need that to occupy space in my collection? Is it something I'm going to use? Is it something that's going to teach me something? Is it's kind of like I don't know. Like using like the astrology cards of it might be really interesting because they do have like zodiacal cards, and I don't know. I'm so on the fence about it. All right, anything else? Anyone has to share? Good stuff. How are we doing on time? I haven't really been paying attention. It's just one of those mornings. I'm just kind of going. Oh, we're a little over an hour. Okay, we're doing good. We're doing good. Nothing too crazy yet. All right. I don't see any other questions or suggestions or anything like that. Um, Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so already. It really does help the channel and the community to grow. Like I said, if you're interested in any of the things that I've shared today, please check the description box down below. You should be able to find all of the things down there that I shared. What else? Study hall, if you're interested in doing a Thoth study with the community, be sure to check out joining Scala Metaphysicae. You only need to be a member for 1 month. You can cancel it and you still get access to the Discord server and study hall. I only do this because I don't have time to deal with the trolls. When you make it public and people can just click on the link, um, the trolls become rampant, and I just don't have time for that. So be sure to check that out. What else? That's really about it. If you want a reading from me, you can book one by visiting my website down below, all that fun stuff. I really appreciate all of you guys coming to hang out. Big shout out and thank you to all of my members. As always, you guys are awesome. I hope that all of you mamas have a wonderful Mother's Day. And yeah, remember, guys, everyone is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. So be kind out there, okay? See you guys back around YouTube. Bye, everybody.